Grand risings, beautiful kings and queens, angels, lightworkers, and starseeds. I am so happy to have you here again. Welcome to my channel. I am Queen Aline, and I'm so grateful for having you here today. We are in my beautiful kitchen today, and I felt inspired to share with you one of my favorite recipes ever. Guacamole. It is simple to make, so tasty, and will give you all the nourishment you need. And you can add it to salads, you can add it to wraps, you can just dip some veggie sticks in it. So excited to be sharing this with you today. But first, I wanted to thank you for all of your support on my first video that I made, and for all of your positive comments, feedback, just for being here with me on this beautiful journey of awakening and tapping into ourselves, reconnecting to ourselves and to our divinity within. So I am right there on the journey with you. I am right there exploring, feeling the motions of everything that's going on in the world right now, and choosing to step into my power, into my responsibility of raising the vibration as much as I can, raising my own vibration and helping to raise the collective vibration and the consciousness of our planet. So that's why I'm coming on and starting my YouTube channel, is to share my light and share my journey with the world and share my transformation about how God saved me and brought me to the raw living foods that are also saving me. So these raw foods that grow on the trees, that grow in the earth, herbs, beautiful fruit, beautiful veggies, right? This is actually a fruit, sweet pepper. I just found out. These foods are there to nourish us, mind, body, and spirit, to help us to awaken to our divine self. There is no better way to overcome depression, anxiety, so any kind of mental health issues we might be facing, any kind of physical issues we might be dealing with, whether it's chronic pains, aches, constipation, and even more serious ailments that you might think you need medication for, or you might need any kind of prescription to overcome. Really, all you need to do is go back to basics. All you need to do is go back to simplicity and go back to nature. Go back to what God tells us to do. God tells us to eat the herbs and the seeds and the fruit that He put here for us, and that shall be for meat. So the more we reconnect and the more we inspire each other, the more we can go back to the Garden of Eden, really creating heaven on earth by creating heaven within. So I am so happy that you're here with me, and let's dive right into it. And I'll be speaking a little bit. I'll be sharing as I go along. I made a video the other day. I made a live on my Facebook. It was me at the grocery store, and one of my friends said, "This is the best video ever," because I was just in my little element, doing my thing, and I felt like connecting with my friends and family, and it was really great. It was just so much fun to do. So I'm letting you in on a little piece of my life here, and just to share, to share the knowledge, to share the wisdom, and to share my own personal experience of what has helped me stay raw vegan for a year and a half, because mindset is so important in taking care of ourselves, and also having certain tools in our tool belt, like some good go-to recipes, basic recipes that I often do over and over again, really help us develop confidence in ourselves in order to be raw vegan, stick to it consistently. So we definitely need a few recipes under our sleeves that we can do over and over again to feel good, to feel nourished, full, satisfied, feeling energized, in order to go the distance. And a lot of the times people don't even know where to start. If you're like me, I mean, I used to eat some salads. However, I knew how to make fried chicken, I knew how to make lasagna, I knew how to make mac and cheese. I didn't really know how to make that much gourmet food until, well, I went to a hospitality class, a hospitality school, where I studied a little bit of French cuisine there. And my mom showed me a little bit of Middle Eastern food, but I don't know, I didn't really know how to cook until I really came into the raw living foods, and then I had to learn how to nourish myself in a whole different way. So get curious, get interested. There's so many recipes out there online, so many great teachers out there that can guide you with recipes. Free recipes, and some are paid for. I particularly really like Melissa Keith, Joy with Raw Food, and also Lissa's Raw Food Romance. If you want to check those out, they got really beautiful recipe books, and neither of them Melissa Keith doesn't use any salt in hers, no oil, no sugar, and Melissa uses a little bit of salt here and there, but they're both really, really good, so check them out. All right, so what I already cut up, because I didn't want to do everything on the video, but I cut up some orange sweet pepper. I cut them up really, really fine, because everything has to be kind of small for the guac. You could have them a little chunky, that's okay. Some red onions, chopped up really fine too. Some tomatoes. So for the tomatoes, I'm going to show you a little trick. We don't want it to be really watery for the guacamole, so what we're going to do, and I won't throw out the middle, I just won't use it for the guac. So I'm gonna cut out, right, like the piece like this from the outside, and I'm going to get the liquid out so that it's like the hard part of the tomato, like this. And then I will cut that up into little strips, like that, little strips. And then you're gonna cut it the other way, like this. And then you have tiny little diced tomatoes, and I'll put that in there. So one of the reasons why I felt a little shy to share recipes is because I don't usually measure. I don't usually measure. However, that's the fun thing with raw living foods, is that you can also create a lot of very intuitive dishes based on your taste. You know, how many times have you taken a recipe anyway and modified it, right? So I'm going to give you the base and encourage you to become your own alchemist, become your own magical raw vegan chef in your kitchen, so that it's exactly to your taste. If you want to add salt, you can add salt. If you don't want any salt, you don't have to put any salt. So, all right, and then I also have some lime juice. This is about the juice of 3 or 4 limes in here that I squeezed. You can also get the hand pressed lime juicer. Those are great too, or the electrical ones. So we will start. I will put the lime juice in this bowl. And this is to do about, we're gonna do like 6 avocados, right? I'm not sure if I'm gonna do them all. Let's do 6 avocados. Stay with me here. We're gonna go deep. Okay, garlic. Maybe, I like it kind of garlicky, so we'll put like 3 cloves, possibly 4. So how I like to do it, I'm gonna put the garlic down here, blade of the knife away from you, and push it down, and you're just gonna smash it. That's a good way to remove the peel easily. See, the peel comes off easily. And then we're gonna do that with all of them. So drop a comment below if you have any recipe ideas maybe that I can explore and show you how to do. I really want to show you how to do the hemp seed dressing, or a Caesar dressing made with hemp seeds as a base. So that'll be in a future video. All right, so we got our 4 garlic cloves, and I am going to chop them up like this. Or if you have a garlic press, which we don't really have in this kitchen. But it's always fun to work with your hands and kind of do it yourself. Slow food, this is what it's called. And to chop, put your knife down like this and keep it onto the chopping board, right? When you want to chop something really fine, and you kind of slide, you slide your way forward. Careful not to chop that other finger though. We're just gonna chop, chop, chop until it gets really, really fine. And we're gonna add it to the lime juice while we open up the avocados. So this is a favorite at parties with friends, family. Everybody loves guacamole. So I am currently 4 weeks in my refeeding after my 23-day water fast, and my body has been craving fats. For right now, I mean, I'm trying not to have too much. 1 or 2 avocados a day is plenty. I would say even a little bit much. I should be trying to have like half an avocado, but I'm giving myself the chance to have a little bit extra right now as my body is still readjusting to food and readjusting to getting calories in. So I'm loving myself through the process, through the weight gain and everything. It could be a little challenging. A lot of people reach out to me after fasting, and they have been weighing themselves every day during the fast and so excited to be, losing weight, which is not the goal. I have to say, it is not the goal when we fast. For some people it might be. For some people it might be weight loss. However, it's more about waste loss. It's more about detoxification of the cells. If we focus on the weight, then it could create some mental patterns that, keep us a little bit insecure when we put it back on. So we have to go into a fast with the idea that we may put it back on depending on our level of health. If somebody has to lose a lot of weight, then they might not keep it, they might not put it all back on. Waste, and weight. So I'm going to put the garlic in here. Let it sit a little bit. I'm going to put all of it actually. I like it garlicky. And like I said, the fun thing is you can always adjust the recipe. Make it a little bit more limey, a little bit more salty. And I'm going to put some of the onions too. I like to soak the onions in the lime juice for a couple of minutes. It will kind of make them a little bit easier on the taste buds. I won't be so strong. Okay, avocado, so excited to have these ripe avocados. These are so beautiful. And you want to be careful when you cut an avocado. You want to go all the way around. Perfect. I'm going to remove the seed. If there's any little brown spots, you can see if they need to be removed. Perfect. And the way to get an avocado, I'm going to take a spoon and just scoop it out like this. To choose a ripe avocado, feel it a little bit. It wants to be, my hand's all dirty. It wants to be soft, not too soft. And the deeper you go into your raw food journey, the easier it's going to be for you to determine whether a fruit is ready or not. You're going to get more in tune with the fruit and the vegetable. If it's just like this, sometimes I do it with my hand too. I just kind of push it out, right? If it's really ready, if it's really ripe, push it out. I will do things a little bit different than how I do it at home, usually without being filmed. I will go in there with my hands into the guacamole and just mix it all up. Feel the energy, feel the love. Always cook with love. Always cook with love. Do not go in the kitchen or touch the food if you are not in a good mood, because that energy gets transferred into everything you do. So you want to go in with a nice positive mindset. If you have to go outside and meditate for a few minutes, before cooking, then you do that. It doesn't matter if it's not cut properly because it's all going in the mash. Oh, see, this one feels a little bit kind of hardish. It's not really. It's still good. Oof, I miss Billy's avocados. They are so good when they're in season. Wow. There is nothing like a fruit that grows on the tree and you get to eat that. Oh man, that is some next level nutrition, next level healing. And that is why I'm putting all my focus and energy right now to moving back to the tropics and finding a beautiful piece of land to start a community and start eating and growing from the land. This has been a calling for many, many years, and it is time. It has been time. I'm currently in Austin right now, Austin, Texas. I was living in Belize for many years, between Belize and Montreal, and I have always had a dream to create a self-sustaining, off-grid, space for ourselves and our children to live and be free. Okay, so we have all the avocados. I will bring this here. Okay, so from here, we're gonna put the avocados in there and we're gonna mash it. But like I said, sometimes I use my hands. I will use a fork for the purpose of this video. I mean, you know what? I'll do it like I always do it. Just be myself, being myself. I love to... You might want to connect with your food too like this. If not, I'll show you how to do it with a fork too. Cut this off. Hashtag the messy chef. If there's a little brown spot, you could just take it off or you could leave it in. You take the fork and you mash it up like this. You just mash up the avocados. That's why it's important that the avocados are ripe and soft. Because if it's hard, you won't be able to mash it and they won't be ready to eat. As a raw vegan, it's very important to eat our fruits ripe so that they can digest better and yeah, it's turned into the right kind of sugar for our body to absorb. Like bananas, you want the bananas to be spotted. You don't want the bananas to be yellow. You want to eat them ripe, spots, soft. A lot of people have issues with bananas when they eat them and they're like, oh, it gives me stomach ache, it gives me indigestion. You gotta eat the bananas right. And the avocados too. I don't know if anybody's ever done this, but it's okay. I'm doing things my way. My way and God's way. I got some downloads the other day asking about guidance for my business. And I received the message that I just need to be myself. I just really need to do it my way and the way that brings me the most bliss, because that is the way that God created me, without these constructs and these I have to kind of programmings inside of me, and just return back to my childlike state where, I used to like jumping in puddles and getting my feet wet and my, legs wet and dirty, and putting my hands in the dirt and putting my hands in the food. Like, I like to play with my food. What's that all about? Don't play with your food. Those are all just things people have told us. I love playing with my food. Sometimes when I make myself wraps, I like to make like mini wraps. So I'll get the collard green and I'll have my big salad, and I literally just make like tiny little wraps with everything in it, like the perfect bite, right? Because sometimes if you make a wrap and you can't get the whole bite, it's so big. So I like to make little mini wraps. I take my time when I eat, and I like my fingers. Sorry if that grosses some of you out. I don't like the waste. I will go rinse off my hands I'll be right back. Okay, so, all right. My videos right now are unedited, completely raw, completely unpasteurized, completely real, and honest, vulnerable, and scary AF, right? Because that's the way I want to have them. And as I grow, maybe it'll change. However, right now, I'm not getting bogged down by the details of editing. Okay, so we have cilantro. These are so beautiful. You could grow them in your garden. We're growing some in our garden right now. We have basil and we are growing some cilantro. So good. This gives amazing flavor to any dish. Okay, so we are going to chop them the same way we chopped the garlic earlier. Cut them in half. And this is going to take a little time because we want to have them like really nice and small pieces. So I like to just chop them kind of coarsely at first. Careful that little hand there that's guiding them. And then we're going to chop them again. This is fun. I had done a live video again on Facebook a couple years ago, me making guacamole in the middle of the night when I used to sell food at my daughter's school. And I was surprised to see my friends come on. My friend Tommy came on. A couple other friends were on. And it was really fun. So I'm tapping back into my courage and into my calling to share. Because the world needs us. The world needs all of us to step up and speak our voice, speak our truth. And the more we reconnect with the raw foods, the more we realize we are natural beings. We are natural beings and capable of free thinking. I was watching Ralph Smart today and he was like, think while it's still legal. Think for yourself. Reconnect to your roots. Reconnect to your divine inner wisdom. You know? Stop watching TV. Stop listening to the news. Those things are the problem. Ask yourself questions. Question what they're telling you. You know? It's okay to ask questions and it's okay to not accept a narrative. All of a sudden people are trusting things that should be questioned. And those that have been cleansing are asking those questions. It's really interesting that a lot of my raw vegan friends who fast, friends who do different sacred earth remedies are not having the agenda. They're not having this narrative. They don't believe it. They're not falling for it. So there is definitely a connection between our third eye. When our third eye is open, that means our seat of our intuition. It is the seat of our soul. When we decalcify the pineal gland through raw living foods, through fasting, through water fasting, through juice cleansing, there is something that happens. We cannot be controlled anymore. And we get on a different frequency. We get on a different vibration that the rest of the world is not on. So we are the ones. I'm putting the cilantro in here, in the guac. I'm not sure if I'm going to put all of it. Let me see. I'm going to put some of it. And I will add the tomatoes. I might need a bigger bowl. Let's see. Let's try to fit it. And the sweet pepper. So like I said, I put one sweet pepper. I don't really fully measure. I put one sweet pepper, about 3 tomatoes, maybe half an onion to the 6 avocados. And wow, that looks so good. So So for sure, I will not eat all of this today. I like to make a big amount to share and also to keep some for tomorrow. So this will stay 2 days. I don't know. I mean, you could have it on the 3rd day, especially if it has a lot of lime. It's okay. 3 days it could go. But the fresher, the better. 1 or 2 days, even for juices, it's way better to have it fresh. So there we go. It's a little bit messy of a situation, but it's okay. I dream of a beautiful, clean island of a kitchen, kind of like fully raw Christina style. Let me go rinse this off and to get, I'll do it with this, I'll put it with a towel. I'll wash this in a minute. So I am in the process of eliminating salt from my diet. However, I still use a little bit. I'm struggling with not having it. And some people are saying it's really good. Some people are saying it's really not good. Drop it in the comments what you think about salt. Because it's really mixed, you know. Some people say we need the sodium, but not the sodium chloride that is found in salt. Some people say sea salt, like especially this Celtic sea salt, or like a pink Himalayan salt, are actually really necessary for the body. So I'm still a little torn. I feel intuitively it's better to not have salt. However, if you think salt is amazing, please let me know and let me know why you think so. And I'm open to, you know, trying new things. I'm just gonna put a little pinch and put it all over and mix it up. So like I said, it's a very intuitive process. You just put in whatever you like. I also want to show you how to make a yummy marinara sauce with tomatoes, garlic, dates for sweetness, and another secret ingredient. I'm not going to tell you right now because I want you to come watch my next video. Okay, the messy guacamole is ready. Look at that. So good, so delicious, so healthy. It doesn't look as green. It looks a little bright on the screen. So good. And what I would have this with is cut up veggies. This is my favorite. So I'll take some yellow sweet pepper, jicama. Jicama is a beautiful starchy root vegetable. I don't eat too much of it, but I do like it as a treat. Celery, really healthy, really good. And I will just dip it in like that. And I'll just have a little bit on the celery. It's perfect. So delicious. I wish I could share all of this with you. Hopefully one day I will have a space where I could welcome you and I can show you in person how to do all these raw foods. That is my dream as well. So I'm putting out there in the universe. The universe already knows my dreams. God already knows my dreams because He put them in me. God and guacamole. Everything from God is good. Everything from God is real. And I have learned to surrender my life to Him, to what He wants for me. Even making this video is challenging for me, and He's helping me push through my insecurities. He's helping me to teach. He's helping me to see that this is what I'm here for, right? To share the joy. Look at my beautiful earrings. I wanted to mention something at the beginning about my earrings. Magri Jade, you like them? My pineapple queen. To share the joys of raw foods, raw living, life-giving foods, regenerating the soil kind of foods, healing our planet kind of foods, healing our bodies, our temples, healing our children, and generations to come. So there is nothing I love more than to get messy in the kitchen, and I would love to get messy with you here on video and also in person, where I could show you and we could have a whole team to inspire you to juice cleanse, water fast, go into the raw foods and all of that. So I'm dreaming, and I hope you could dream with me too and help me make that happen, because this world is in desperate need of change and beautiful spaces where people could come and do some deep, deep healing work all together. We would have, meditation, yoga, sound healing, all of this. So, and if you want to take that dream too and ride with it, like, welcome. We need more places like this in the world, and I would be so happy to collaborate and speak to you about it. Find me on Facebook, Aline Habib, Habib at the end, or on Instagram, Queen Aline. I am working on my business right now so I can offer coaching and also a membership for support to help all of the beautiful light workers and warriors of the world who are feeling drawn to this lifestyle, who are feeling drawn to reconnecting and going back to nature, going back to their nature, going back to themselves. So stay tuned, and stay tuned for more of Queen Aline's beautiful videos, inspiration, and wisdom that is coming from my gorgeous ancestors, and they are guiding me and they are helping me through. So I want to take a moment before I end to thank my parents and thank my grandparents, great grandparents, who have made so many sacrifices for me to be here today and to be able to share this beautiful meal, beautiful guacamole that, didn't take me that long to make, but it's like symbolic of a whole life change and a way of being and a way of thinking. Look, I got my little grapes here. I was eating grapes earlier as I was preparing everything. The ancient Egyptians were raw vegans, mostly. They didn't really eat the fish. They, maybe a little bit, they didn't have those same dogmatic views as we do today. However, they were living from the land. They were living from the trees and the fruit from around the Nile. So these are all part of my teachings, is to remember, and it's felt like a whirlwind for a long time, and now everything is making sense. So they're very present in me, and I hope to inspire you through their wisdom and through their knowledge and through my strength and perseverance and my survival story, that you too can save your life, that you too can get off of medication and stop following the medical mafia, really, that doesn't have your good interest at heart, that doesn't really want to see you well. They want to see you're well lit. You're well lit. They want to see your dollar. And I truly care about you. I truly care about humanity. I care about our children and all of our children that need a safe place to be, that need guidance, that need inspiration, that need to look up to parents, that are helping themselves and that are like empowering themselves, right? To become independent, free-thinking individuals that are claiming our life back, that are claiming our health back. It's a revolution, and it is the greatest rebellion ever, to grow our own food, to heal ourselves, to share truth, to tell each other, hey, you have a choice. You don't have to go down this road. You could choose a different way. You could choose to awaken, and you could choose the path of God. Because there are two paths. There's the path of God, and there's the path of the devil, really. And we have been living under the spell and under the conditioning of very demonic energies. It's a death culture that we live in. And if you don't see that yet, and you are here listening to me, look into it. Look into it a little bit. I mean, just the fact that we slaughter animals is an issue. The fact that there's a poison being injected in us, there is an issue. We need to ask ourselves these questions, and I am surprised that not more people are awakening. However, it has just felt so natural to me to oppose myself to these things and to follow the light. I have been an angry vegan for many years, and I have found that the path of love is the best way to approach it and to just share my own life and share my own love. With that, hopefully I can inspire you to take on this journey and to transform yourself. And I'm telling you, you are worth it. You are so worth it. You are so worthy of healing and love and being pure and being with God. right? So it's about self-worth, it's about self-love, and it's about getting together in community in that love and celebrating our power as beautiful gods and goddesses who have been made in his image. You know, we're not him, but we were made in his image. So we do have power to channel the energies and to create absolute magic on this earth, right? And to manifest, to co-create with him the most beautiful things in the world. Healing ourselves and healing the world. That's where it's at. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video and you want to see more recipes and more of my quirkiness, insights, inspirations, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video, comment, and share so that I can continue to provide you with this knowledge and this inspiration. Thank you so much. And if you have any suggestions, please write to me. I'd be happy to take them in and improve on everything that I do. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace and blessings to you.